Okay, where was I?
You were telling us how you met Mom.
Oh yeah, last video we were talking about the similarities between these three shows. So we are going to be doing something very much similar. It's not very much similar, it's the exact the same thing. So we are going to be doing that. We're going to be comparing How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, and of course, Friends. So this episode is so very much interesting because we are going to be scoring each and every I would say, is it depth? It's not necessarily depth, but each and every category is gonna be compared, right? So we know the Big Bang Theory talks about the Big Bran. Is it Big Bran? Yes. Episode 2, because we're comparing episode 2 of each series. We know that How I Met Your Mother is the purple giraffe, and How I Met Your Mother is the one with the sonogram at the end. Let's talk about this for a second. Now, I've already laid out the foundation when it comes to the Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother. I would say, and you are free to challenge my opinion in the comment section down below, the way Friends and How I Met Your Mother title their episodes is so very much similar. And which came first? Friends. So Friends is always using the one with. Now what they do in Big Bang Theory, they say they use THE, which is the. All right, with that having been said and done, man, let's get into this video comprehensively. If you know me, you know that I'm always going to look at my notes because, I've got a short-term memory. So if I look that side as I'm about to right now because I forgot what I wrote, let's jump into this, man. So we have categories, as I've already said. Now, so the category here is the main story. The main story in How I Met Your Mother is that Ted throws 3 parties, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For who? For Robin. So that's the crux, or that's the gist of the matter. Now in the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and Leonard, Leonard in particular is trying to impress Penny, right? And he is hoping that he will, get some, but that's not how it goes. But it's a very interesting now in Friends, because in Friends, this is where I got glued. Even you guys, if you go and watch, or maybe you've watched it before, you can agree with me, because second episode, we can see that that's when now Friends really found its voice, because Ross is working, right? Now, Susan arrives. As Susan arrives, she tells him this breaking news that, you know what? I've got a kid coming on the way. And he asks, are you still? You're asking if I'm still gay. Yes, I'm still I'm still gay. Monica is trying to impress her parents. She's trying to get that validation, which is so very much interesting, man. So we talk about now the comedy style. So when we are in How I Met Your Mother, we can see that the comedy style, I would say, because, it's fast-paced, it's fast-paced because of the, I'm gonna make this comparison between the two, How I Met Your Mother and Friends. In How I Met Your Mother, they're talking about sex, right? They're not necessarily talking about sex, but they are performing the action. And in Friends, what I really liked about their comedy style, or even let me go back to that point where I said it really found its voice, because the first episode, which is the pilot was at the coffee shop, right? Excuse me. Was at the coffee shop, right? So, was at the coffee shop. So, and the coming episode again, which is episode number 2, it was also at the coffee shop, and it was the same setting. I believe even the same clothes, if I'm not mistaken, or similar clothes. So that's just so very much great. Now, we talk about the comedy style in Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory, I still believe that it was made for a certain type of audience, unlike the other two, because the other two, you can relate to them. Most people, I believe, they can relate to them. Even with Big Bang Theory, you can still be, relate to it. But the central focus, who is this sitcom made for? This sitcom is made for nerds. It's made for some people who just want to, just laugh about their professions and blah, blah, blah. So I would say that comedy is focused specifically on, and especially the second episode, on that particular culture, because you can see Raj is such a nerd because he cannot talk to girls. Another thing that focused around. Let me just go to another point because I think I made all my points. Now let's go to Friends. Friends now, I would say it's very, very much nice when you look at it. You can see my bias already if you don't already see it, but it not only focuses on one thing, you see, because when they start, they're talking about sexes. Even the first episode, it was like about that, because I think it's a continuation of what they were talking about, which are things that are relatable, because whether you're a girl or whether you're a guy, we always talk about these things. And even in frequency, that's what I can say. So it's basically socially comedic. That's what I can say. And the environment feeds it well. Let's go to another point. Another point is the emotional, of which I've already talked about, the emotional factor in the shows, right? Because How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, and Friends are totally different. So I would say in How I Met Your Mother, the emotional part, the emotional factor, it's medium, right? Medium to low. It's not as much, because they didn't do anything unique or anything. Okay, they did something progressive. Let me not lie. It's Big Bang Theory that I'm thinking about. It's just outrightly low there, because they didn't do anything to progress the story emotionally. That's what I can say, because it felt like, because if you look at Ted, right? Ted really did try to, get things into motion, and Leonard did try, but not as to But now in Friends, okay, I talked about the Big Bang Theory. Now in Friends now, we see the emotions there, humor infused with like real stuff. Yeah, man. So Friends is high, Big Bang Theory is low, and How I Met Your Mother is moderate. That's the emotional factor. Now let's go to excuse me, character development. Character development here, like in How I Met Your Mother, it's good because you can see, like, you see Robin. Robin is like an independent woman that has been clearly said even in the first episode. Now we see Ted. Ted is this like guy who's like in his own world, very much dreamy. We can see now in episode 2 of How I Met Your Mother that who's this guy? Marshall and Lily. You can see, they are their own people, and at the same time we start to see characters developing, like with Marshall. Yes, he was a lawyer in the first episode, it was introduced, but now we see the seriousness, we see the character depth. Now let's talk about How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother is also, I think it faces the same issue that it had in season 1, episode 1, right? Because the only person that we can see there, it's Sheldon. Sheldon, we can see he's socially awkward. He doesn't know any, because we're talking about sarcasm, like in that particular episode. He doesn't understand that he accidentally gets things funny. And you remember when he said, Penny says, what kind of doctor removes shoes from asses? Depending on the... but Leonard with the sign, that is sarcasm. So now I know I'm ruining your favorite jokes. Please, guys, forgive me. Okay, it's a terrible video, but what can we do? With Friends, right? With Friends now, we can see Joey's innocence, right? Because we get to see that even though he's flirty and stuff, we can see that, he still doesn't, maybe gets lost in the sauce, especially when they were talking about sex, like infusing it with like comedy. It's not like we don't love the comedy. It's like that, the magician, whatever. I don't remember the full because I've got short-term memory. Okay, we talked about Joey. Chandler is still that same guy who's very much like funny, because when Rachel loses her ring, he's like, what was that? It's in the dish, right? Boys, we're going in. And one thing that I liked about this particular show, friends, because I think characters that play a major role have already been introduced, because now we see Monica's parents, which is so very much good, right? So good. Rachel, yeah, Rachel is still trying to figure things out, trying to be like Robin, independent, blah, blah, blah. Monica is looking for like recognition and, she wants to be acknowledged. Now, we talk about like the themes here because it's all romance. So I would say, like in Big Bang Theory, yes, it's somewhat secondary, or it's not the primary factor. Now I'm lying. What did I write? I did write it secondary. Yeah, it's secondary compared to the two, right? It's secondary because the reason I'm saying that, Leonard hasn't, got into action and said, you know what, Penny, this is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. Whereas we see that with Ted, he already tried and he got rejected. And he knows now that you can never force love, right? With Ross, it's very high there because he just gotten divorced, and now this is what is happening. We see Rachel with who's this guy? Barry. So we see a lot of things, man, which is, good. Excuse me. So we talk now about How I Met Your Mother in terms of storytelling. So the writers from How I Met Your Mother said that, that episode was inspired by the great Gatsby. Inspired by the great Gatsby. Where Ted throws like parties for Robin, right? So yeah, man, very nice. So I would say it kind of deviated from what it did on the first episode, because the first episode was filled with narration, but this one, I liked the fact that they did those what do you call them? But they did them in Friends as well. But we're gonna talk about later on as we go, where like you see the characters doing something different. It is, I don't know what that's called, but you need to watch that episode. I liked that. Now storytelling, right, from Friends. So it's nothing like different from what I've said. Rachel goes to Barry to give him the ring, and then she makes a joke that Mindy had like, I don't know what was with Mindy's nose, knowing that Rachel had, a problem with her nose, but yeah, Ross becoming a father, and he finally accepts, that this thing is real, and especially because I am an African, right? So I don't know where you're watching this from. So us, we do things very much differently. So when Susan was trying to say, you know what, I want my name to be part of this kid's life. What the hell? Are you crazy? Because you just came out of nowhere and you're like, I need my name in there for sec. But anyways, Monica is still looking for, approval and recognition and all that type of stuff. And we can see that if like I'm being objective about this, I would say main characters would have been, in that particular episode, would be Monica and Ross. And the other ones, they're just supporting characters. Why haven't I spoken about Phoebe? Do I hate Phoebe? when she said doy, and Chandler says, you don't get a lot of doys these days. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Excuse me. A Big Bang Theory, right? Yeah, Penny is, the hot girl, and Leonard wants recognition from Penny, and, he wants Penny. He wants Penny. And, yeah, man. I don't know why I'm laughing. Oh, I'm thinking about Raj. Raj did something that later on in Friends, was part when, you're just that character, and you are just, with Chandler and that lady in the chilling with some guy. But guys, we're gonna talk about that. I'm stuck in the ATM festival with good Julika. Yeah, man. But that type of a thing. If you guys know it, please tell me in the comment section so that I don't keep on, not mentioning things with their names. So I like that one with Raj standing in front of Penny. He hears Penny talking, but he's having his conversation. So I think maybe we were introduced to Raj's world, right there, then and there. Yes. Yeah, man. So when he says, she's so chatty, I want to marry an Indian girl so that she can read my kids lullaby, sings my kids lullaby as my mother did, and then he continues to sing. I like that one. Now we talk about the man, Howard Hollowitz. Howard is he is a good guy. Like in terms of we can sense when we can see the awkwardness. The awkwardness there is trying to flirt, and it's just a nerdy competition between him and Leonard. So now when let's talk about something very much controversial, the comedy, right? And I'm gonna keep looking at my notes so that I make sure that everything is spruce. So Barney, he steals every scene. He's like the oh god, the Sheldon of How I Met Your Mother, because what he does is, with the roof thing, we need to go to the roof, blah blah blah. The Carlos girl, I broke up with the Carlos girl. I know, man. Yeah, man, physical humor is there in as I said, with the other scene where they because you can see Ted trying to ignore Robin in that particular story, in that particular world. Yeah, so the rating there, the comedy, 9 out of 10. We talk now about Friends humor. Friends humor now. Yeah, as I talked about Joey being clueless, and I talked about Phoebe with the doy. I talked about Chandler. I talked about, okay, let me talk about the scene, in the museum first. In the museum is that lady where Ross is like with that what do they call those things? Whatever they call them. And I'm just gonna link this scene so that you guys see them. And then with the one with Perry and Rachel at the office, very much fun. 9 out of 10. Now we go to Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory, it's kind of different because right there it depended so very much on science jokes, because oh god, all right, I'm not gonna edit this. Let's go. Let's talk about you remember when they did the incline thing. I don't got it. It relied so very much on science and stuff. Yeah, man. So, and another thing with the Leonard crush and the lady Penny. So I'm just giving that 8 out of 10, man. 8 out of 10. So do you think all these scores were good, in terms of comedy? Please tell me that in the comment section below if you guys are here. But then let's go to do I talk about emotional moments? Yeah, let's talk about emotional moments. Emotional moments, they're so very strong in Friends because, as I've already said, man, that particular episode relied on a realism and it also relied on the emotions with the comedy there. I don't know why I did that, but comedy as well. So comedy is infused within whatever is being dished out. Like even when what's the guy? Ross's father, right? Is saying, uh, I don't want to tell you how much they spent on that wedding, but $40,000 is a lot of money. I don't know if it's $40,000, but it's a lot of money. That pain and whatever, betrayal, because Barry would have been betrayed, as well as Rachel was betrayed when she later found out that Barry was her best friend. So with that one, yeah, man, giving like 5 out of 5, man, or 10 out of 10. Now, How I Met Your Mother, Ted realizes that no matter what he tries, because you see, there are similarities within these shows. So, because Ted reminded me of something that Chandler did with Joey's girlfriend. Let me not spoil anymore, but it reminded me of that. So, no matter what he tried, he knew that he cannot force love when he later kissed Robin at the rooftop. So, yeah, man, 8 out of 10, 3.5 out of 5, Yeah, let's go to Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory, as I've already said, man, loves coming most often from like misunderstandings from Sheldon and, Raj's selective mutism. I'm gonna give that, 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 5, right? Or maybe I'll give it like 6.5 out of 8. Yeah, man. So introductions of characters, yeah, I've already talked about that. Dialogues, okay, let's talk about the dialogues. Yeah, man, as I already said, that the memorable like narration was eliminated, which was good, and it led us into like seeing how the actors can do their own thing without the narration. So let's give that a 9 out of 10. Now with Friends, man, Friends, that episode was good. So everything was realistic and everything like there made sense in terms of comedy. It just didn't fall from the sky. So by that I mean, right, the setup and the punchlines to the jokes were so very much good. And even if like Monica was feeling like she was being belittled by her parents, because you remember when Judy says, when Ross says, what's her but whatever. Susan is Carol is a lesbian, and then Judy goes to Monica and, you knew about this? And then it was fun, and also at the same time I felt bad for Monica, whatever, because she even said that if we were to change parents, Ross, I'd want yours. So 10 out of 10, man, 10 out of 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, like Sean Spears. Is this Sean Spears? Yeah, man. Excuse me. So Big Bang Theory, I would say with that one, yeah, man, as I said, it's like for a certain group of people, right? And especially in the first seasons, because we are still getting to know the characters and we are still getting to, yeah, man. So I would say if you don't understand scientific references in that particular episode, you might feel alienated. But I liked the reactions of actors, even like when Penny was listening to Sheldon, and Sheldon was trying to tell her that there's going to be a debate after you leave. So are you trying to say that blah blah? This happened because so and so and so and so. So yeah, man, 8.5. So In the comment section below, guys, please tell me, what would you say was the greatest like emotional arc or emotional factor in this story? Which sitcom was it? Because I'm still going with Friends. Please tell me that in the comment section below. And do you agree with the scores that I gave? Now let's go for the final scores, because we were looking at these different factors, right? So with those different factors having been said and done, I said story, How I Met Your Mother is 10, comedy in How I Met Your Mother is 9, and emotions, them or emotional factor, 8.5. I said character development there, man, is 9.5. Even though I didn't say it outrightly, but you know, I'm looking at my notes right now. So with that being said, it gets a 9.3 out of 10. Let's go now to Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory, we'll talk about the story. The story now gets, 8 out of 10. It's not bad. A comedy gets 8 out of 10. Yeah, 18 out of 40. Out of 40? Out of 20. Out of 20. It's not bad, man. Emotional factor is like 6 out of 10. Not bad. It's above average. Character development, 8.5. That amounts to like a 7.8 out of 10. Not bad, not bad. But bad compared to, How I Met Your Mother. Then we talk about the GOAT. The GOAT now, in terms of story, the story, I feel like it has to be, 10, man. 10. I give that a 10. Comedy-wise, yeah. Give that, 8.5, or let's just give it like, I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. Okay, emotions, some of them I'm evaluating them now as we go. Emotional factor, 10 out of 10. 10. Character development, 10. That gives us a total of 9.5 out of 10. That is nice, man. With that being said, please tell me in the comment section below, do you agree with my scoring? Do you agree with the points that I shared? It might seem like I'm a hater, but I'm not a hater of Big Bang Theory. We are still going to go to episode number 3, and we are going to objectively look at the factors there, and it better kick ass. Just know that.
I'm sorry?
Haven't you ever been told how beautiful you are in flawless Russian?
No, I haven't.
Get used to it.